Ricky, why did we do a recap for episode 3 this late?
Because we had to fly all the way to Japan.
Just to get like the inside out from...
Inside, yeah. Inside scoop. There you have it. Hello. We're here. A little late, but as you could see, we had a good reason.
We were able to travel and we were in Japan all last week. We were having a great time.
And it just so happened that our trip to Japan, Osaka, and Kyoto lined up exactly with season 37.
Yeah.
Their episode 3, which was kind of like, we didn't plan it that way. We wouldn't have known. But yeah, it worked out perfectly. So it was kind of cool.
We were able to visit a bunch of pretty much all the locations for this episode 3. So that was really cool. Just trying to see what happened. I have to say, we would not have been able to make it to the specific points because we filmed a little video. If it wasn't from Scott's map, he did a great job. If you haven't checked it,
he makes really cool, like almost interactive maps on Google Maps for all of the legs. So check it out.
Yeah, if you haven't, they have it on the recap. It looks like this, so it will have every single piece of information. If you click on whether the routing for the detour, it would say what the clue said and everything. It is just impressive what he's doing.
Yeah, it was really cool to kind of like guide us through. We were able to kind of not really relive the leg because, of course,
we didn't live it. Like we were just trying to imagine what it was like, and it was just, I don't know. It was really cool. Yeah. It was a really cool experience, but also like seeing from like his notes, and that was just something that I have to say thank you for doing something like this, like with so much detail, because the word shows it as a super fan. Like I love seeing something like this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, should we get into it?
Let's get into it. We're gonna recap the episode, maybe highlight a couple of things, highlight all the teams. There were a lot of really cool, interesting things that the teams did.
That was really cool as well, like the placement swap and all of that.
Yeah, lots of placement swapping. So let's get into it. So they're in Osaka.
They're starting in Osaka, and like the timings, like we have like 8:31 and 8:53, so it's a 20-minute difference between like the first two teams.
And Jonathan and Anna and Scott and Lori were 20 minutes apart.
And yet they make it to the first train. So at the end, there's 6 different bullet trains.
And the bullet train is really cool. I know a lot of teams in the episode were commenting like, "Oh, this is amazing. This is cool." It is actually really cool. So it's just an awesome way to travel in Japan, and for them to experience is really, really neat.
Then something that I have to say as well, because for Courtney and Jasmine, we saw them like struggling a little bit, like from the tickets and all of that. We got to leave it like, and it's complicated. It is not like, yes, there's a counter, but to find the counter is one thing. Everything is labeled, and yes, you can see signs, but at the end, it's a bit confusing. Something that happened to us, like we ended up buying a ticket for the bullet train, and like we were missing a second part, so you needed 2 tickets, something like that.
Yeah, so it probably teams could have, I guess, gone to the kiosks and bought it themselves.
But then you have to make the queue.
No,
if you go to the machine, you just do it yourself, but it's a little more complicated. No, you said like the in person.
No, I said the kiosk. But if they went to the person, they would have been able to eliminate that like probability of messing it up or missing a ticket or whatever. So I guess like if you did either, it works out. But Jeff and Pops had a power move for these tickets.
I was not expecting to see that from Pops. Like it was just really cool to see his like that move, that super fun. Like, hey, you wanna trade?
He's very charismatic, so it worked. He like was talking to that couple in the front. They were like, no, like let's switch.
Because it could also be like you have to ask absolutely every single person in front of you to let you pass if they weren't in a rush. But at that point, you just wanted to swap.
Because if we look at the times, they left at 8:28.
So that's an hour before the first.
Oh, no, 9:28. And we're on the train by 9:48 with Carson and Jack. And
No, you're wrong.
no, I'm
10:06.
wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, 10:06. I was going to
These
say,
are
I was
my
like,
notes.
wow, 20
that's why I'm
minutes.
telling you. You have to take your notes. Yeah.
I'm looking at his notes.
Yeah. Anyways, that was really
But
cool.
that's still really fast. 35 minutes to get from the start, a ticket, and onto a train.
And then make it on the train. Yes.
Because that subway system is not an easy thing to navigate.
But they took a taxi, so that was easy.
I said the subway system.
Yeah, but that's a train. The bullet train is different. You see?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the wrong part of getting it on the first hand. It's like when.
Anyway, Pops, good work. Nice power move. That was stellar.
Yeah, so all the teams make it little by little. They trickle down, and it's pretty much a gap. Like the first train, it's 9:33. Han and Holden go at 11:18. That was a big gap, and they ended up doing something as well. But we'll talk about it later on. They make it to the train. Something that as well worth mentioning, the title of the episode, and that was Lori. Chaotic Crazy, that's what we do.
That's what we did, yeah.
We had a chance as well to join them on the recap for episode 2. And it was really fun because that's when Jack and Carson mentioned that their house sounded,
right.
the banging
it's
of
like,
the
this
drums.
is what I imagine their house to be. And so they were used to it. It's a little bit chaotic, a little bit crazy. So,
but they're ready. I mean, we see them at this point.
Calm, cool, collected. I
have to as well give props at this point, like to Jonathan and Anna. They seem a little more calm, more like
I noticed the energy change. They got first place in the previous leg, so leaving first kind of gave them some I don't know. You could see it in Jonathan's face. He felt very relaxed and happy. So I think that was a great motivator for them, knowing to get out early, and they feel like they settled into the race a little bit more. I always talk about when you're on the race, you can't expect too much because expectation leads to disappointment.
And disappointment leads to frustration.
Yeah.
And then we saw a lot of frustration on this episode. And I think that's what I'm really enjoying this season. And more than anything, I feel like although these
you're enjoying all the frustration.
Well, I'm enjoying the fact they're really
working through it.
Yes.
Okay.
I do have to say, that when they make it to Kyoto, we start hearing some people saying oh yeah, I'm not the fastest, or on their way to Kyoto. Yes, that's something I think is the third leg. You're still coming with your preconceived ideas, but I see everyone saying, yes, I'm not the fastest, but they keep going. And I think that is as well, because we saw it from Lori, we saw it from Melinda and Erica, we heard it as well from Courtney and Jasmine. So yes, hey, what's up, Luis?
What's up?
Yeah, for everyone that is joining, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
We're just doing our little thing over here.
Little late recap, but
but also Croqueta chat right after this.
That's true. Croqueta chat's at 8:30, so you can hop on over there.
But yeah, anyways, if you haven't applied for season 39, you should be doing this. And I'm saying that because we're gonna be giving tips, and it's just right at this point again, leg 3, you're going with your preconceived ideas. Just you have to realize that you have to keep
it's
going.
hard. It's hard to keep the balance of being confident and going forward and being positive, but also realizing you're up against other really strong teams. I will say, just judging from the departure times. Hey, Jack and Carson, great work on becoming ninjas and origami masters. That everybody is really close. It's only a 2-hour gap between this many teams.
And yet everything got mixed up.
The teams in the back jumped forward. There was some switching. So give yourself some credit. They did a really great job.
They made it to Osaka, and they're heading towards the first route info. And at this table, most likely on the additional info, it says you cannot run while on the train. Once they got there, they had to go and do the little message, find the vendor. So the temple, it's multiple buildings, and you could get a little.
Yeah, walking through, when we were trying to find where this little stream was. It took us a minute. We kind of like looked at the map out front. We're not racing, so we could take our time. But we kind of went through. We went down one way, and it was like, okay, not there. And we went over towards the left-hand side, and then when we went through, and we were like, there it is. It looks so much bigger in that promo video with Jonathan and Anna. And it's still pretty big. Here's a little picture of us.
I do have to say the highlight here, and a really cool super fan move that was from Jack and Carson, and they were like, "Oh, red and yellow flowers at the little table." Like it did say so. I think it was the finale in Chicago, season 29. Brooke and Scott, like there was 3 different sections that they had to go, and there was a card going around with the colors of the race.
So it really could have been.
So you just have to like keep your eyes open, because again, it is a temple, it is a sacred place that people go and actually are praying over there. So I guess something more discreet like the flowers. So that was a great thing from Jack and Carson. Again, tip for future racer: keep your eyes peeled for those 2 colors. In fun fact is that in places like Spain or Vietnam, I believe, like they would change the yellow for white and red. So like that is not confusing, because otherwise you're going to be seeing
every
the flag. You're going to be Amazing Grace
running in circles.
Yep. That was, but also that it was the other thing. You guys kept your cap.
Yeah. A lot of some of the teams, as they arrived to that first route info,
but it was when they crossed with Jonathan and Anna.
They realized like, okay, I'm going to keep my.
I have to say, you guys have been doing really cool super fan moves, but as well other teams. So that's like, again, it's like we're not even halfway through the episode, and like Jeff and Pops, and then Jack and Carson, and it's
there's some really cool things. You can tell people studied the race and are picking up on these little things like keeping their cab, or looking for these small little indicators. And so it's cool to see like, okay, these people weren't just like coming on the show, they were ready for the show.
But also, since we're talking about this road info, I just want to bring the other side of it. Courtney and Jasmine, like, you had to get wet this piece of paper to get the clue, and we heard Holden saying like, hey, Han, let's write it down right away. Courtney and Jasmine didn't think about it. They didn't do it right away.
Thought,
it dries out, it's gone, and they lost their opportunity to ask for the directions to the bus driver. But also, like, they reacted really fast. I think pouring the water and putting it, that was a smart move. But you could have avoided it. You could have like avoided that.
So it's interesting when they went up to the bus driver. We live in New York, so there's buses moving constantly. There's train. Everything's kind of.
But there, everything is on
schedule. So I'm actually surprised they were even able to like flag down and stop the bus driver because. And you saw like as soon as
people were getting in, and then
but as soon as they turned around, they were gone, and that's just like how public transportation is there. So, thankfully, you didn't all have to like do too much public transportation travel, because although it's consistent, it's not always like right when you want it. But I thought that was a good move. They were like, oh, we just have water, we'll just wet it again and write it down. So it was a good like adjustment.
So then they moved to the Shuramine Jinju Shrine for the roadblock, and they have the chance now to go for the express pass.
Yeah, how exciting. And what's really cool is for the express pass, both people had to do the roadblock. It wasn't like you had to go somewhere else.
It's right over there. So
location. So it makes it really easy to make the decision. Okay, if I'm first or second, which Jonathan and Anna and Jack and Carson pretty much arrived.
What do you think about Scott and Lori's decision to
that was also very brilliant. They realized, okay, these 2 people, this person's already gone, this person's already gone, the second person is going. And Lori was like, listen, I know I'm not going to kill it.
I have to quickly. I mean, although they're there, you have the chance. And you have to think like there's one leg that matters, and it's the final leg. You are you are like a third place at this moment. Yes, there's a risk later on.
Yeah, but you're not using an express pass in the top 3. Like,
well, no, but like you're gonna use it eventually, like when you need it the most. At this point, you know that there's other teams that are coming.
yeah, but
after.
there's other chances.
Like,
there's going to be other chances to get.
but
those
not
things.
for an express pass. And like we see Lori pissed on the next episode, so I don't know if she would have tried. You don't know how long it's gonna take. Yes, it gives them the first place on this one. I have to differ with you. Like, I think if we were on that situation, I would have, even if I know that I'm not skilled. And I have to bring up another story from Carson.
But if you were if you were first or second there, you would have. But they were third. They were
third, but there still was a chance. They like Jack and Anna were still doing it.
I mean, Scott got through it quickly, so
who knows? But I have to bring up another thing that it clicked
the what
for
ifs,
me.
The what ifs.
Yeah,
right?
I know. Carson's story, that when he was saying like, yeah, I remember like I was picking the flowers instead of playing. Funny enough, once my parents tried to get me into a soccer. Oh, I think I talked about this already on a recap for the Argentina, like for the Mega Leg on it. Yeah, well, anyways, if you haven't watched that video, go watch that video because it's really fun. It's for Mega Leg. But anyways, at that point, my parents tried to get me into a soccer game, a soccer team, and I wasn't running around, so they put me as a goalie. I wasn't the goalie.
No,
but
he was gardening.
Well, whatever. No, I wasn't picking flowers, unlike Carson, but I would lay down on my knees and just like stand there and like almost fall asleep until one kid from my team went to my mom after one training, I guess. And he was like, "Why do you keep bringing your son here? He just falls asleep over there." So yeah, I feel you, Carson. I feel you.
You know.
Anyways, they did it, and also, they did great.
Soccer's boring. You just run back and forth.
Okay. Let's just not start there.
It's an exciting
Let's just not start. I'm Latino. I grew up with soccer, although I don't play soccer. But okay, next thing. Let's move on.
Okay. Well, we did get a chance to visit where this roadblock was, and it was really cool. It was a kind of a small temple. And we got there pretty early before anybody was there.
It was really cool because they were raking all the grounds and all of that.
Yeah, like all the people were out, and I kind of thought that we were going to see somebody play.
No, it is. So it looks that it's. Wait, agreeing with whom? I hope with me. Anyways,
probably with you.
Apparently this happens just once a year or something like that. They do have the plaque over there, but
the soccer only happens once a year.
Yeah, I think so. When you're reading the things,
it was in Japanese. Of course, I wasn't reading it.
Still, I was with my Google translator. Oh, with
Ricky.
Okay.
It's boring.
I don't know.
A large population of the world will definitely disagree.
Yeah. Including me.
But yeah, it was really neat. And like they actually had like a little court set up when we were there. But the 37 didn't use like the little boundary in the court. But it looked really fun. I think I would have had a good time playing. I would have done it first and then see how this one went.
I don't know about
playing soccer. He likes soccer, but does he play soccer? There's a difference.
Anyways, we had both Jonathan and Anna doing it. Scott did it. Then it was Josiah that Alyssa said that she could have done it.
Yeah, she played soccer at Temple University, she said. So she would have been in and out like within seconds. But Josiah did great. He got it, I think, on his first attempt.
Carson did it. Then it was Erica. Courtney did it. And it was Pops, which also I think was... It's important at this point to start balancing, and we saw it with Bernie and Carrigan, having Carrigan doing it. I don't know that they were thinking strategically enough to maybe like have thought to put Bernie instead of Carrigan, and even if you're 3-0, like but if it's like something that is going to get you out there, although they were ahead of other teams, so I think that was as well a good thing for them.
I know, because kind of now it's like when you want to be a little more strategic with your roadblocks and saying like, okay, well, I just did these two, what are we predicting might happen later? Could be like even more of a physical challenge or a mental challenge. So I think some teams thought about it, and then what was the one team they both were like, I'm doing it at the same time?
Oh, it was Courtney and Jasmine.
Courtney and Jasmine.
I believe, yes. Yeah.
So that was kind of fun. They're like, I'm doing it. And it's like, okay, wait.
I have to say that Mark and Brett, we barely saw anything of them in this episode.
They were. Like, that's because they were
shown. They were middle of the pack,
but they were solid. They were really solid this episode.
But still, I feel like there was no development on their story.
But they left late, did they not?
Towards the end of the pack, they were on the end of Mark and Brett, Nick and Mike, and Hannah and Holden.
So they were consistent and they pushed themselves forward.
Well, after doing the roadblock, they get make your way by taxi to the Osaka Koshindo Temple. And this is one of the most touristy areas that we found in Kyoto. So it was just going and getting the clue. So I see why Melinda and Erica and Pops and Jeff had a little bit. Well, at least we got to see that they had a little bit of struggle to get to the box. I like seeing them working together. Yeah, because I like both teams a lot. Mm-hmm. I think they're smart.
And they all have like a little bit of like they each have something to bring to the table, right? They all have different life experiences.
And so far it's episode 3, so they can keep working a little bit like together, a little stronger, and helping them like each other a little bit more. I think that's a really cool move.
I wonder at what point though they're going to have to split. There's going to be a time when Erica's not going to be able to go over and say, hey,
that is true. And also, like, if you need any more help, ask me. I found that to be really interesting.
I mean, it was great. I think it's really like build bridges. But there's going to be a point when, well, hopefully not, they could be in further down. They were kind of middle here, but if they were,
but we'll see. So far they went up. So far they went up. So we'll see what happens later. The only one other thing that I wanted to mention about the roadblock. There was some wondering online that I was seeing, I think, on the Discord, that was like, what does the roadblock count goes? Who does it goes to? If you're doing the express pass, let's say that if Jonathan and Anna both get a number, but apparently it was the first person that decided to do it. So in this case, Jonathan gets a roadblock.
That's a cool point. Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
And I forgot who clarified it. It might have been Jack and Carson. Well, anyways, they make it to they get their route info, and now
do we have a little picture
at the route info.
This one,
it is that one. Yes. Yeah, we were trying. It was funny because as well, like we did a little video, like putting ourselves in the shoes of the producers. So we pretty much ran the whole leg without running, of course. But
we were moving.
It was really cool to see all
the different spots, and it was cool to see actually like the distance between things. So like from this route info to the detour, we figured out that it was only like a 10-minute walk. A 10-minute walk.
No, this one was longer. No, the 10-minute walk was from the detour to the pit stop. To the pit stop. No, this one was way longer, and that's why I'm the navigator. Yeah. Okay.
I just drive. Honk the horn, hit the gas. That's my job. And steer, of course. But so they left there, went to the detour. The detour we actually visited. It is a somewhat private, like ninja training center. And we kind of like snuck in to try and get a glimpse.
We were wandering around. I mean, nobody
came up to us.
Okay, it wasn't fully closed. There was like the little thing for the cars. But other than that, you could walk in, but not into the building itself.
And, we went in to ask the security people. We're like, "Oh, did you film the amazing race here?" And they both were like.
And then we showed them pictures of
the place, and they were like, "Yeah, that's here.
It's over there, but you cannot go in.
You can't go in."
But they were like, "Okay, if we cannot go in, maybe we can just." And we were waiting for a little while, and then another couple arrived, and they went all the way to the edge because they were training.
So where everyone was folding the origami is actually like the part of the training center where we saw like kids
they had like
drills.
these like weapons, staffs,
Some sort.
something. They were, and what I was eavesdropping on the other couple, where they were saying that they were kids from all around Japan, because they had like a little belt that said the region that they were from. So it was really cool. So it was really interesting. If you're in Kyoto, maybe check it out.
Yeah, the detour was fold it or flip it.
Fling it. Oh my God, you're like next week.
Fold it or fling it. I'll take my own notes.
Your own notes, because
it's all up here.
Yeah, a little messed up.
I think initially. Well, what's nice is both of these
we
are
would
at
have
the
done.
same,
We would have done exactly the
location.
same as mostly everyone did.
Yeah,
and like they went from like, ooh, a shiny object. Let's go.
Ooh,
like,
ninja. Yeah. Just like Josiah, like I'm still a ninja. Like we would have done fling it first, and then realized like, okay, this is taking up too much.
They
time,
were literally one next to each other, and that's why I just don't understand why a lot of the teams. So ninja was like towards the left, and
towards the left over here.
Fling it towards the left, fold it towards the right was the entrance.
Side.
But that was it. Like they were literally next to each other.
We did kind of do the detour. We made a little paper crane.
Oh yeah, for a little video.
Much
my time much tiny. I think the producers did it on purpose to put like ninja. Like you hear about it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. It took us a good amount of time to get it right.
Yeah.
Anyways, I feel like the producers did this just like to be like, yeah, this is the cool thing. Like this is the amazing race. Like this is what you want to do. And mostly everyone fell for it. It was really cool, yes, but even we had Scott and Laurie as well saying, yes, it's gonna take a little longer, because we had to change. But it's still like, let's try it.
You know what's interesting? What Alyssa said to Josiah, we're not making progress, but they are. And that's something that like during the race you have to be thinking about. And she was right. Like the inside can go back to an example, do a little bit, go back to an example. And for them, that test was hard. Like you get one shot at it and then you have to restart.
But I think this is, again, you're coming with the idea that I am going to do it and I'm going to do it right. And it's going to be perfect. And I can like, this is so simple. And that's when frustration starts building up. Again, it is a game that like you want to have fun. Like you went there like to put these full like suits because you want to feel like a ninja at that point. Like it's a game, but then quickly you forget that like, yes, it should be fun. It is a hard challenge. Both of them were really hard.
Yeah.
Like maneuvering that huge piece of paper. Like it's insane. But again, it's like the moment that you start getting frustrated, and if you have the other Detour right over there, just go and try it.
You know what let me jump in. You know what I really admire was Nick and Mike. They were attempting, and they say, you know what, like take a step back, like refocus yourselves. I really thought that was an awesome moment to like understand like
that they
your
do
stress
in their daily
level.
Life.
Yeah, it's a great practice that they incorporate into their life, and now they brought it onto the race. And I think it's really helping them because you see that they're both very high energy, and you saw them like when they were
even inside
switching, they were like folding and they were kind of like bickering. But
even like jumping, like
so those moments of like meditation and calm, I think is going to help them a lot. And I have trouble seeing things like this because it is stopping, and for me it's like on the go. But in reality, they probably stopped a minute or two.
But hearing from their story as well, like it's something that they do on their live lives that might help them. So that was
and it put it into perspective. Probably after that, they were like, you know what? This is taking too long. Let's go. And that was the better choice. Was to switch.
I do want to say that if we were maybe on that position, I would have tried for both of us to pick first the one that you don't have to change into a suit and try it first, just because it might be faster. Like if they're next to each other, That one doesn't take that long. Let's just go and check. Although the other one is more fun. Like the other one is just something that it's...
Yeah, I get that. Like not needing to take the extra like 3 minutes.
But I think the competitive part of me would just be like, no, like let's not waste time. Or I would have overthink it and like be like, oh yeah, we needed to.
Yeah. I think it's
the outfit was so fun. No regrets.
Yeah. I know. Listen, we
okay, question. If you would have been able to keep it, would you have carried it? Let me know.
That's a good question.
Because that's a hard one. Because it's really cool, but it would be extra weight. I don't know. I don't think they let them.
Maybe like a piece of it you could have like stuffed in your pocket.
Just keep your. I don't
like
know.
We did that with one thing.
Yeah. It's smart. Yeah, too heavy.
I thought they only had one bag, so.
The other team that I wanted to mention over here was Bernie and Carrigan, because he just feel that they did learn from that conversation that they had at the airport. And when Bernie was like, I don't know, let's do whatever, like it's your call.
Yeah, I need you to make this decision.
And at that point, there was no more bickering or anything. Carrigan was like, no, we're switching. And it was like gone. So I applaud that because they did like, I see progress on that communication.
Learning from your past experiences to kind of like boost you forward. And then they went in and I thought they worked really well together to kind of see the demonstration and get in there. What they said the bickering or the arguing from Han and Holden, they were like, it's driving me crazy. They're like, just block it out. But that was really funny. So I'm really enjoying Bernie and Carrigan's kind of like journey to like discover. You as friends, you don't put yourself in these type of situations. You're like hanging out, you confide in each other, but you're not stressing each other out like this. So it's cool to see their evolution, in leg 3.
Well, we saw pretty much every single team that fling it, swapping to fold it. Then we start seeing like, Scott and Lori did great.
Yeah.
I mean, they got out of there really fast. I think another team that worked really well together were Brett and Mark. They seem to be working as well.
Yeah. Well, this is another moment where you're kind of learning from your partner, right? So Brett was like, I kind of just want to like feel it out. And Mark was like, that's not going to work. And so it's like learning your partner's style of doing things. And so I thought they handled that pretty well, even though they were in disagreement of like, well, maybe it's like this. And Mark's like, no, we're not going for maybe. So it was like a nice like balance, but they were still like kind of respectful to each other, and which is a good thing to have in a relationship, especially on the race, being able to voice your opinion without, feeling hurt.
I mean, in another relationship as well, Alyssa and Josiah, like just we could see Alyssa's frustration. Josiah knows that like she will want to have it perfect, and it was just like let's swap. It is time. Let's do it. And
these are really great, like strong decision making and understanding your partner.
So I think we saw a lot. That's what I'm saying. Like it's not that I enjoy the frustration, but I enjoy seeing these teams overcome it.
Yeah,
because all of them did. Like, and even for Courtney and Jasmine, that was a really like hard leg.
Yeah, going through the roadblock. I think the thing is like you just never give up, because you never know what's going to happen on the race. Like someone could get lost, someone could be struggling with something. So I give her props for sticking it out in that heat and just kicking her a little heart out. Because it's not easy, especially if you're not used to playing those type of sports or that type of activity. It's like there's a learning curve. You got to figure it out. So I think when she figured it out, she was able to get it, and they caught up. They did technically catch up with everyone. That was
as well for Han and Holden. Like they were bickering, they were struggling, they were like, I don't got it. Like
yeah, well, it's funny because at the beginning of up until the folding, they were like, yeah, we feel really good we feel really good this leg, we feel really strong, we're like getting stuff done, and they were like really like hyping themselves up. And I don't know that Han was being so like no, Holden wasn't being as
I mean, the hand was
intense as it came off. I think it was just the way that the two of them communicate.
Because Han was apologizing a lot, but I don't know exactly. We couldn't see that. We were just hearing, so that's what I feel
I think it seemed a little more intense.
Yeah.
Maybe they can attest to something different, but
so they take a cab to the pit stop, and this is when we realized that like we walked that distance. It was about 13 minutes.
Yeah, but they took a cab, which
was like half a mile. Scott and Lori get their first place, so that paid off. Like that, not trying for the express pass. Right away, Carson and Jack arrived right behind them. Then we have Jonathan and Anna that arrived really happy with their express pass. Surprising, but really cool to see Melina and Erica arriving on fourth. Brett and Mark, Jeff and Pops, Alyssa and Josiah, like as well.
Like all back to back.
Well, Alyssa and Josiah arrive a little later, then Nick and Mike, Han and Holden, Bernie and Kerrigan, and finally Courtney and Jasmine.
Yeah, I feel like this was not the most like insane type of leg, but I do feel like it had a lot to it. There was a lot of like skill involved. Oh, here's a picture of the pit stop.
Yeah, we visit all the places.
Yeah. But yeah, it was kind of cool to see like firsthand like where these locations were and kind of how to.
I think it was a great episode. I really enjoyed this episode. It had a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, a little bit of drama, a little bit of tears.
Well, speaking of drama, like next week with the driver's seat, like we saw a couple people being really annoyed and asking like them thinking of payback.
That is going to be, and I don't even understand the driver's seat. They were like, how could we really mess up these players? I mean, it's cool. Like, I guess it's a cool advantage for the first team there. But also, you have to remember this is a little bit of a social game. You're going to have like we haven't had any U-turns yet. So if you try and like screw over these teams, they're going to remember that.
Yeah, but you have to use whatever you have. I don't know.
But think about the first team there. So Scott and Lori and Carson and Jack are essentially leaving at the same time.
No, but on the promo we see that everyone is getting into motor on the
right. They would still get to leave first.
No, it says on the promo like you see them. I don't know if it was a randomizer or something. We'll see.
Oh, maybe they have to arrive and get it. They arrive before the time. And they
could be. I don't know because I saw that order being a little bit different. So we'll see. We'll find out. We're excited to watch.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the driver's seat would be really hard to make a decision
if we're using it or not.
If you
but you're there first. You're not gonna wait for the next team, or you could wait for the next team and
not wait for the next team, but make it so that.
But otherwise, you cannot move on.
Can you use it for yourself and make your own work less?
You can.
And then just keep everybody's the same.
No, you cannot. It has to be more or less. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. It would make for a really boring twist.
Okay.
If that was a
I'll let the producers know.
Okay. Anyways, we made it this far. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Go ahead and we're on Instagram. You can follow us there. We'll be posting more stuff about our trip to Japan. Like and subscribe
also,
our page.
Subscribe to the challenge if you like our videos. Like we're gonna keep doing these recaps. And do you want to show the video, the little video?
Yeah, and so speaking of producers, we thought it would be funny to kind of like.
It was really sweet. Elise commented on our video, and
she was like, "Oh, it brought me back to when like we would scout, the different places."
It was something silly. Like we were like, "Okay, why not?"
Yeah. So we thought it would be fun to kind of like.
You want to show it?
Yeah.
Ricky, I got all the balls for the roadblock.
That's the wrong size.
Of course, me carrying all the balls.
Make sure it's a sensible 74 for the racers.
There's letters happening. It is perfect. Perfect. They'll be fine.
Where do you want the stars?
Just keep straight ahead on the table.
Okay, like this, but like way bigger.
Okay, I like that idea. Oh, that's what everything was happening inside. So the pit stop here.
Yeah, I think here.
Okay.
And then fill here. You could say team number 1.
I like that. Yeah, I think we got a little video.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just
It
being
was
silly. Just
surprising.
really
I
enjoying.
did. Phil did end up standing with his hands like
Yep,
crossed
yep.
like that.
You were
did
really
not
close.
unintentionally.
And I'm just gonna bring this because, yeah, for diplomatic reasons, I would be afraid to be the driver. We'll see what happens because, again, if you're there and you cannot move ahead until other people come, like
No, what do you mean you can't move?
yeah,
until
like
other people
because you have to see how much the load is gonna be for you. I wonder if it says like the first team to arrive has to use it.
Has to. Well, of
Because
course,
how
you
would you
want
know?
to use it, but what? I don't. Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to find out,
I'm
and we'll
excited.
talk about it in our next
On
video.
Wednesday at 9:30, CBS and Paramount Plus. You can watch.
Oh, thank you. We had a lot of fun.
We had a
filming
lot of fun
that little video,
that
making that little crane with a receipt that we found on our backpack. So, yeah, it came out. It came out cute. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you all, and leave us some comments. Maybe you want to hear something next week about, insight on what we thought about the leg, or questions you had about Tokyo or Kyoto or Osaka.
We're excited about Bali, and
Bali.
Tune into Croqueta Chat next, because
they're up next. Hop on over.
Yeah. Okay. Bye. Until next week.
Until next week. Bye.
And then we dance again.